Hi, my name is Gay Smith and I was a foster parent for many years and I'm currently working as a resource social worker. I'd like to talk to you today about advocating for services for children and youth in care. Advocating for children and youth in care means helping them to use their own voice or speaking out on their behalf to make sure that their rights, their interests, and their views are respected and protected. Children and youth in care in the province of BC have rights under Section 70 of the Child, Family and Community Services Act. Foster parents as well as children's social workers should discuss with children and youth in care what their rights are, what they want to have, and what they are entitled to have under Section 70. Children in care have the following rights: to be fed, clothed, and nurtured according to community standards, and to be given the same quality of care as other children, including the caregiver's children in the placement. They have the right to be informed about their plans of care. They have the right to be consulted and to express their views, according to their abilities, about significant decisions affecting them. They have a right to reasonable privacy and to possession of their personal belongings. They have the right to be free from corporal punishment. They have the right to be informed of the standard of behavior expected by their caregivers and of the consequences of not meeting their caregivers' expectations. They have the right to receive medical and dental care when required and to participate in social and recreational activities if available and appropriate. They have the right to receive religious instruction and to participate in religious activities of their choice. They have the right to receive guidance and encouragement to maintain their cultural heritage and to be provided with an interpreter if a language or disability is a barrier to consulting with them on decisions affecting their custody or care. They have the right to privacy during discussions with members of their family, subject to any court order made after the court has had an opportunity to consider the question of access to the child. They have the right to privacy during discussions with a lawyer, the representative for children and youth, the ombudsman, a member of the Legislative Assembly, or a member of Parliament, to be informed about and to be assisted in contacting the representative for children and youth, and to be informed of their rights under the Act and the procedures available for enforcing those rights. The research suggests that when children and youth know their rights, they show increased self-esteem, they're less likely to be harmed by others, they are more likely to engage with their helpers, they are more likely to accept diversity and the rights of others, and they are more socially responsible. They are also more likely to participate meaningfully in decisions affecting them. Part of your role as a caregiver is to advocate for the children and youth in your care and to work in collaboration with other members of the team to make good decisions that are in the best interests of children or youth. Guidelines that must be considered include safety, physical, emotional needs and the level of development of the child, the continuity of care, maintaining of relationships with their parents and others, the language, religion, and culture, and for Aboriginal children, preserving their cultural identity must be considered. We also must consider views and opinions of the young person and the effects of delayed decision-making. Advocating on behalf of children or youth is not always easy or straightforward. Every situation is different, and the circumstances surrounding the issue or concern can be complex. There are different types of advocates for children and youth in care. Self-advocates speak on their own behalf about something that affects them directly. The peer and natural advocates speak on behalf of someone they have a close relationship with or about a cause they are directly involved in, for example, caregivers. Professional and legal advocates are advocacy experts that are hired or assigned to speak on behalf of another individual, a lawyer, for example. The systemic and cause advocates speak on behalf of a group about a cause that affects the group and/or the broader community, for example, human rights. To be a successful advocate, here are some tips. An effective advocate will promote a child-centered approach. They'll promote a collaborative problem-solving approach working with your team members. You need to set aside your personal views and focus on the child or youth's views and their best interests. Be prepared. It's always good to be prepared in your role by gathering all of the information needed to completely and fully understand the situation. Support and encourage the relationship between the child or youth and their worker. Encourage the child or youth to use their own voice and help that child or youth in managing their expectations about situations. Know your limits. Get support for yourself if needed, and seek out other supports or another advocate for the child or youth if you are not able to continue in that role. You also need to support self-advocacy by supporting children and youth to advocate on their own behalf, by helping them to use their voices to express their concerns, their needs, and their desires. Learn how to keep records of events, meetings, and how to maintain and obtain information for children. You need to learn how to negotiate and brainstorm ideas with others. Listen and consider others' views. Build positive relationships. Developing and modeling good working relationships can be accomplished through a team approach, which puts top priority on the best interests of children and youth in care. Get support if you need it. Get help if you need it. It can come from a number of sources, such as other caregivers, your resource worker, or an organization. We can also support and encourage children and youth in self-advocacy. The steps to self-advocacy include know yourself, know what supports you need to be successful, and communicate your needs appropriately. Explain to children and youth that self-advocacy is about learning how to speak up on their own behalf and to ask for what you need. It is learning to take charge and to be more independent. It builds self-confidence. Confident children and youth feel better about themselves, take more risks, ask for the help they need, and consequently do better. Agencies that can help in advocacy include the Representative for Children and Youth, Ombudsperson, the Public Guardian and Trustee, the Federation of BC Youth and Care Networks, and using the MCFD complaints resolution process. For more resources, you can go to the MCFD website and download for free This Is Me and I Have Rights booklet and To Know Your Rights. From the Youth and Care Networks, you could also download Your Life, Your Rights. We each have the power to become advocates for the children and youth we care for and for ourselves.